Can we just appreciate this real quick before I move, y'all? Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and to Simulation Saturday. So I did a poll, I want to say a couple of weeks ago on my YouTube community tab. So if you don't check that out, make sure you check it out. I do post on there asking if, people wanted me to do Planet Zoo for Simulation Saturday. And I got a couple of yeses, no nos, just a couple of yeses. So I decided that I was going to start over. So I did like a couple of videos for beta when beta first came out. And then when it first released, I did a couple of videos, but then I kind of fell off. And then I play like sandbox mode on my own, not sandbox, franchise mode on my own, but really kind of like forgot a lot of the like controls and stuff like that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start over with career. Career is like the tutorial. So if you get this game, do not try to jump into franchise or sandbox. Do the career mode because that is how you're going to learn how to play the game. So as you can see, on my channel, we did bronze, silver, and gold Goodwin house, and then bronze and silver of the Madagascar Simian Conservation Project, and then I stopped. So we're going to start over. We're going to start over with the Goodwin house. It says Goodwin House, renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently, it has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed, which is where you come in. So we are going to jump into this one, and I'm going to say start new. So medium, I think that's kind of like normal medium, so let's just keep it there and say start new. I'm excited because I know how to run the zoo, but when it comes to building, I just forgot so many of the controls that I just wanted to redo it. So we're going to start over. But it's fun. Like I have some elephants. I love them. I have some peafowls. I love my pandas and my wolves. I think that's all I have right now. I might have some armadillos. I think so. Yeah, I think, yeah. Timber wolves. I have timber wolves.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay. So explore the zoo. So it wants us to locate the grizzly bear habitat. So in these tutorials, they always do this little outline, this highlight to let you know where you're going.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel. This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal, the most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Selecting. Oh my gosh.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Can we just appreciate this real quick before I move, y'all? Look at the fur. This is why I love this game, y'all. Like, it is so stinking detailed. So stinking detailed. I love it. Like, when I play on my own, I literally just sit here and stare at the animals. Like, I'll go into this camera mode and just watch them. That's why I love playing my franchise mode. And with franchise mode, y'all, you can do like you own like all the zoos, but like you start one zoo, but if you make another zoo, like it's kind of all under one franchise. That's how it works. So you have multiple zoos, and anything that you do in one zoo, anything you unlock carries over to your other zoos in your franchise. That's why I like doing franchise mode. Look at it. Oh, love it. Okay, let's get out of here. Locate the West African lion habitat. Okay, let's get out of this. Get out the cave. Thank you. All right, where? I think it's... Where are my lions? Lions and... Oh, there we go. Lions and tigers and bears.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Will do, but look at this. Oh my gosh, look at the baby. Okay, let me stop. I'm trying to get through as much of this as possible. But I have to not get distracted at how beautiful this game is. Here we go.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section. There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
Something that I would do. All right, so here, y'all, we have the female and the male. The female's 5.5 years old. The male's 4.9 years old. This, I forgot what they call this. I think we'll go over it, but that's later. And in 3 hours, and these cost money. So $260 and $221. So let's just go ahead and click on this one. It gives you the genetics and breeding information about the animal, and then let's just adopt it. I'm trying to like give too much because like they tell you all this, but I can't help it. I love like quote unquote teaching. Someone actually told me once, and this is a side note, a comment on my video that I didn't have to read the descriptions on stuff, and I'm like, you also don't have to watch the video. Like, I do it because some people multitask, and so if I read the description, then they can listen without having to watch. So anyway, side note, common warthog. All right.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade center where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
All right, so go to the trade center. All right, so then we'll go ahead and send to zoo. We want them to be in this habitat. So click in here. And then let's go to you.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
You've marked it. Where? Oh, here we go. Oh, there they
Well,
go.
as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Okay. So a small feeding trough. So I want to put it close to this side so that the people can kind of like see them eating, like view them. And then water bowl. Put the water bowl like right there.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
All right, so I'm going to add it kind of like in this corner because I think it's still close enough to where the guests can view it.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a fair old state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
All right, so locate the highlighted area. All right, so he's coming in and filling that up with water. Awesome. Like normally I would stick around and make sure, you know, the food is getting in there. Are you gonna come play in the mud for us? No? You're gonna get some water. Okay. Water. I'm sorry. I literally just started just gazing. All right, let's move on.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner. Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay. So we have a okay, so what I'm gonna do is this right here is a what you call it? Like an employee path. Wait, is that the employee path or is that the people path? Yeah, that's the employee path. So I want to put it on that path so that they're always coming through there. Oh no, it's making me put it here. Oh, that's dirty. Okay, well, never mind, y'all. I'm not. I'm putting it here.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
All right. So how do I... There we go. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Oh, it's not. See, I've done forgot how you do this already. Is it this? There we go. Okay, I was like, I know how to do it. Basically, I stretched the piece that was placed because I wanted to get it to the edge so that I could start connecting it closer. Oh, I went too far. That's fine.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier so the guests can see in.
Okay. So I guess maybe let's do this. Oh, I didn't click on it.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
All right, so since this is the viewing portion, I'm gonna put it right here on the path, right in the middle.
Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh? By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Okay. Animal Trading Center. Here we go. Market. All right, so we have 3 females and a male. Let's adopt. Can you highlight? Doesn't look like you can highlight multiple in this mode. Adopt. Then Trading Center. Let's get all of you in here. I love this game. All right.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Like, I would have put more glass, but because it's a tutorial, they actually won't let me. Like, if I go to barriers, you see how nothing shows up. So I can't put more barriers, but yeah. All right, so let's put the feeder right here. That's food enrichment. Okay. I'm in the wrong thing. Food and water. Here we go. All right, so small trough. How do I rotate? See, stuff like that is what I don't remember how to do. I don't remember how to rotate. Oh, wow. This is tutorial. And then food bowl. Put the food bowl like right here. All right, so we finished bronze.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Billy.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Okay. First, let's just take a look at the ostriches. Hey, y'all. Oh, man. I love this. I love it. I love it. Let's go look at this one who's laying down. Hey. Oh. Awesome. Okay. Build a keeper hut. So, oh, let's click facilities. Yes. All right. So it actually wants us to put it right here. Okay. So staff facilities, keeper hut, classic or small. Let's just go with the classic.
You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
All right. So Z. Oh no, how do I get... Ah, there we go. So Z does it 90 degrees, but holding down Z and moving gets it together. All right, I want it like that.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Sure. Facilities. Utilities.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Place.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier.
Will do.
Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
Okay. All right, so I want to start with my gates on this path right here. I see some staff facilities over here. I'm gonna put the gate closer to that. Here we go. Maybe like right there. All right, so then let's start. See, how do I make this? Here's the thing. I don't. Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Uh-oh. Undo. There we go. I didn't want to do that. Oh, I get it. Okay, 8. Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong. So right now, you see that's too long. So can I length? Can I put it down before? There we go. Put it down to 4, and then I'm gonna drag this out to the edge. Yes, this is all working out. But now I want bring it back up to 8. All right. And now just I'm not trying to be perfect because I know that this is just tutorial. So I don't really care if it's perfect. Bring it in to like 6. That's fine. Okay. I don't want to bring this out, just right there. Let's bring this out to like 10. All right. Bring it in. 3? No. 4? Yes. Bring it back out to about 10. All right, and then can I just connect this? Yeah.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
Okay.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters.
Freeze.
Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch.
All right, because this is the area, let's do this first. I kind of want to put like that one, and then these two. I'm doing this first because if I do the other thing first, they'll is that guest? Yeah, this is guest. They'll kick me out of the tutorial. All right, so that's fine. This side doesn't need it because this is the people. All right, facilities, guest facilities, donation box. So let's put one.
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
All right. See how it stops me now? I can't put the donation box. If I would have placed... Oh, no, I can do it. I didn't put it close enough. Oh, I think it's because I put this too close to the... I might have put this too close. That side too close to the barrier. Yeah, because look, it's like in the wall. Shooting me. Yep, I should have left more room. Should have left more room. That's fine. All right. Adopt and place 2 Bengals. Animal market. All right, Bengals. We're adopting you. Get you in here.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Will do. I think I want to do it over here. Food tray, large. Put it like right here. No. Here.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
I just want to follow you. Okay. All right. Terrain. Get out of there, y'all. Water. All right. Place your mouth on the side. Wait for the line to turn. Here we go. Right there. Dude, get out of the water. Ugh. Is it gonna... Sorry.
Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
Sure. All right, so they have this rubbing pad. And someone's over here. Let's go ahead and put the rubbing pad over here. Like right there. That's toy enrichment. So food enrichment is this frozen pumpkin blood. So maybe put that one over here. Right, for these guests.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Look at them. Okay, shelters. Focus, Brittany. Where's the blueprint? Oh, wait. I think she's talking about this. Yep. All right, so if you want them to be able to hide, let's put it like back here. Yeah. Put it kind of against this wall.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel.
Like this one.
Rightio. Click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat. Okay then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
So basically we're looking at this line right here with the arrow. It's red because it's too low, so we want this one to move to the right. And then this one is too high, so we want to move it to the left. So we want to replace the long grass with soil. So, do that. What kind of soil? Just soil. Let's do light soil, I guess. Can I do it around here? Here we go. Too much long grass still. Trying to get it into the green. We got we want a little bit more short grass too. Maybe around here. Maybe around their food. Like the long grass is fine. So can I replace this long grass with short grass? There we go. All right, so we got silver.
They say the good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right, let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
All right, let's go for gold. Get out of here. So now locate the highlighted area. Here we go.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese.
What the heck? Where are they?
Expand their social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail.
Social welfare.
Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowlers need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then.
Off I go. Right, adopt them. Normally you would pay more care, but because this is the tutorial, I'm just adopting what they give me. You would care more about the statistics and things like that, so. Number 2. And number 3.
Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her. Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
All right, so you want to swap this out. Barriers, one-way glass. I always used to mess this up, not put it the right way. Did I do it right? Oh no, I clicked on it, so now it is.
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
Okay. Temperature.
As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Oh. Add 3 coolers. So let's put one over here. And then right here. Oh, add 3. One in the middle, I guess, like right here.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
I'm gonna put another one right here. Okay. You want snow? Oh, let's turn off this heat map. Here we go. Increase terrain welfare to 100. So do I? Hold on. I'm gonna click on you again. Terrain. Here we go. Just so I can see. All right. For all of this, get like this whole back area. Still need more. Get this whole area.
Now then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section. As you can see, this list shows you the animals' overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
All right, let's get started, y'all. So let's start with these turtles. They have a problem. So yeah, so here are our turtles. They need an enrichment. Food and toy enrichment. So let's go to habitat. Nope. Enrichment items. Let's look up, what are y'all? Aldabra giant tortoise. So I think these three are good for that. I think the other way to do this would have been to go to filters and then say species, and then we could have went Aldabra, see, and the same three popped up. So you could do it either way. But I just feel like it's quicker just to do it this way. All right, so let's do a block of frozen fruits. I don't want to do it over here by the people. They don't teach you how to lower stuff yet. Like right now, you wouldn't want to see that little thing on the bottom of it, but whatever. All right, so that's food enrichment, and now they want toy enrichment. Toys. Let's do a sprinkler. With the sprinkler, actually put it over here too. Sprinkler right there. Okay. So they're now all in the green. Cool. So let's go take a look real quick. Hold on, where they at? There they go. Hi. Beautiful things. All right, so let's go back to zoo. All right, so let's go take care of the giraffes. See what's wrong with them. Because we need to get it to what now? We're at 89. So we're almost there. So let's just see what the giraffes need. Same thing. So let's do so yeah, as soon as we do this, we should be fine actually. So giraffes like the sprinklers and they like the rubbing pillar. Let's do a rubbing pillar. Just put that. Oh, okay, up here. I would say we're at the viewing. The viewing's up there. Put that up there.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
All right, so we're done, y'all. So like in this case, like on my own, I would.
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. Oh, and maybe having a type of frog named after me.
You done, Bernie? Okay, so as you saw while he was talking, I went ahead and just put in the last toy enrichment over here for the giraffe. So that's in here. What I was saying was you could stay in here and just continue to play around. I like doing that because it's pretty simple and you could like click on the animals, learn them. A couple of other things like here it's saying that there's like a disease, a habitat cleanliness problem, like it's very dirty. So like here's a keeper assigned, but I would click on it to call a keeper urgently to come here and clean that mess up. It's nasty. Clean it up. But yeah. So I'm gonna end here, and so what we'll do is save our zoo. Let's do new zoo. Let's say we're gonna call it Breedtopia. Breedtopia LP. And that's gonna be our kind of career. Oh, let's do career. A career mode LP. Let's save the zoo. All right, edit to main menu. Yep, we just saved, so we're fine. And then so what I'll do is probably next week, like I'm kind of liking this 2-week thing. Probably next week we'll go ahead to Madagascar and Simeon because of conservation project. And that episode might be a little longer. I don't know, it might not be because I've done this already, like the first 2, and like even that 3rd one, I might be fine because I've been playing on my own. Who knows? I don't know. But next episode we'll focus on getting gold star on this one. And then we will keep going, y'all. There's plenty. Got Panda Park, Maple Leaf, Wildlife Park. I think these come with what you call it? DLCs. So like the more DLCs, sometimes they add some here. So as I get DLC, we'll have more that we could do. And so anyway. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe. If you'd like to see more, I'll talk to you later. Bye.